Virgo, welcome to your weekly reading. Let's get started and see what messages we have for Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising positions for the week ahead. Keeping in mind that these are general readings and may not resonate for everyone. So make sure to check out your other placements to see what messages you have in those readings. And if you're interested in a personal reading, there is some information in the description below. I'm offering a promotion for the month of May. So if you've been looking to get a reading, it's a good time to get one. All right, let's get started for Virgo. What is the current energy around Virgo for the week ahead? We're going to do a Celtic cross. Ooh, the Lovers, Virgo. Okay, so the Lovers is really a card of choice. Yes, it can sometimes reveal messages to do with choosing something around a romantic relationship, but ultimately this card is really about being authentic and choosing something that fits for you, something that's complementary to your energy. So that, yes, that could be a partner. You may be thinking about someone this week, Virgo, or you're sort of contemplating making a choice about something and how to make it in the most authentic way that fits for you. So let's see what the obstacle is here for Virgo as they are looking at their authenticity and making choices around that. What fits for you? What makes you feel comfortable in your own skin? What is the obstacle here for Virgo? My deck feels so funny in my hands today. There we go. That feels better. Thank you. Okay, the Chariot is the obstacle. So it kind of came out sideways, so I'll give you both points of view. Seeing the Chariot upright tells me that you're moving away from things that don't serve you anymore. And seeing the Chariot in reverse tells me that you may be stuck, not sure what serves you and what doesn't serve you, or which direction serves you and which direction doesn't serve you. So taken as the obstacle, to me that says that it's the leaving things behind. It's the directional choices. It's the idea that if you make the choice to pursue something authentic, will you sort of be able to actually do it? Will you move towards it? Will you find within yourself that sort of inner strength to leave things behind that no longer serve you? Or will you feel stuck, not sure how to sort of untangle yourself from things that don't serve you and to move towards more authentic choices and spaces? So that's very interesting. Let's see how this reading is going to evolve. Just move that deck. What is on the conscious mind right now? What is top of mind for Virgo as they're looking at sort of their authenticity and their direction? Okay, that makes so much sense. Six of Swords in reverse. So Six of Swords upright or in reverse is really a time where we're being guided to move away from things that no longer serve us. So there's a theme here for you, Virgo. There's a big theme here. And this is sort of the wounded warrior archetype in the canoe there, moving onto a new shoreline. So sort of just leaving all the things behind. She's traveling with just the cloak on her back in this card. And, she's healing herself by moving away. And so it feels to me like what's top of mind for you. And if it's in reverse, it's sort of resisting that moving away energy. So I'm going to put it upright just because I think right now it feels to me like what's top of mind for you is that choice of leaving things behind that no longer resonate for you and finding the inner strength to go, to get in the canoe, to climb into the Chariot, to actually leave that old landscape behind in pursuit of a new coastline. So it seems to me like that's where you're at right now. Let's see what's driving this whole reading. What's at the root of this? What's at the base of the matter here? What's at the root of this? Okay, so there's some frustration, there's some anxiety, there's some fear, and that's not a big surprise, right? Because that it can feel a little bit vulnerable to move away from things that are familiar, even if they don't serve us. So moving away from limiting thoughts, moving away from limiting beliefs, moving away from spaces where we can't really be authentic or be ourselves. excuse me, that can sometimes create a lot of anxiety, fear, frustration, and feeling bound. What might be motivating all of this is you're feeling so frustrated that you're bound to certain things that you just want to break free and move away from these things, Virgo. So it kind of feels like right now you're in a place where the overwhelming frustration at not being able to sort of be your authentic self is causing you to really turn up the volume on this choice about moving away from things that don't serve you anymore. And that could be, like I said, it can be spaces, it can be certain relationships, it can be your own beliefs, your own patterns, your own behaviors, your own way of doing things. Like, take it as it resonates, that there may be something right now that's on your mind that you're thinking, I gotta move away from that. That's not serving me anymore. And I don't feel comfortable with that anymore. Even if you did at one point. Let's see what the past influences on this are. What are the past influences on this for Virgo? 4 of Cups in reverse. So in the past, you may have been motivated to stay in spaces that you didn't necessarily feel like you belonged in because of a fear of missing out. 4 of Cups to me, when I see it in reverse, is often a period where we're so distracted and sort of distracted by past things that we can't really see the opportunities that lay ahead in the present. And oftentimes this feels like a fear of missing out, that even though you don't resonate with the past anymore, you might still be clinging to it a little bit, which is maybe why this 6 of Swords kind of came out in the reverse. Let's put it on its side. Because you have a fear of missing out, maybe. You have this sort of stressful anxiety here that says, but if we leave, then that's that. Like, if I leave this behind, then there's no going back. And what if I end up regretting that, like I have in the past when I've cut things out and then had a fear of missing out? It may cause you to sort of take 2 steps ahead and 10 steps back with that kind of energy. The 4 of Cups in reverse always makes me think of that idea of sort of needing to really be grateful that certain experiences are in the past, and to not go backwards, to not feel pessimistic about the present so much so that you end up focusing on the past. And sometimes seeing it in reverse can be like a gentle reminder to be grateful that the present is where we have power to make choices, and to not get too hung up on the past here and feeling pessimistic about what could come next. Let's see what the future influences are here for Virgo in this situation. What are the future influences here? 10 of Swords in reverse. That really makes me feel like the worst is over here, that you're going to release yourself from whatever you feel bound to. This is a situation that really does not serve you anymore, Virgo. When I see the 9 of Swords and the 10 of Swords and the 6 of Swords, that's your cue to exit. That's your cue to get out of something that could really be affecting your self-esteem. And it's actually an opportunity for healing. This is an opportunity for healing when I see these cards here. And you may have re-involved yourself in something that you knew wasn't for you, and now you're going to see in the future that it really isn't for you. So the 10 of Swords in reverse is an interesting message to me, where we kind of hit a place where we have no choice but to face something and heal. And I feel like that's where you're at right now, Virgo, where there is something here that you intuitively feel is not for you. And it's really showing you that by revealing to you where your fears are, where you feel that negative, pessimistic self-talk, where you really have this opportunity to heal and to close a chapter that was very painful. It's almost like hitting rock bottom with something. You know, Virgo, like it's like you're going to reach a place where you're ready to get up and start a new path. And so I know that that sounds a little intense to say hitting rock bottom, but at the same time, look what's on the bottom of the deck is the 10 of Pentacles. So sometimes hitting rock bottom really is what we need to see the opportunity for healing that exists and the opportunity to move away from things, and as that wounded warrior, right? To move away from things that have shown us where we need healing, right? And sometimes that's what life teaches us. Through adversity, we learn where we won't thrive and what's not for us, you know? Let's see here. How does Virgo see themselves through all of this? How is Virgo viewing themselves through all of this? Queen of Pentacles. So you trust yourself. You trust yourself, and you know that you're very resourceful. And I think that you have relied on yourself before. You know that you've got yourself here, you know, like you've got your back. And you're very resourceful and healing. You know how to, in some ways, you know how to heal yourself. And I feel like right now you're the kind of person where you realize that you're self-made. You know, you had to do a lot to create the life that you have and the life that you desire. And I feel like there's strength in sort of choosing community, friends, allies, and partners that sort of create that strength, right? And that groundedness when we work together. And to me, the Queen of Pentacles is that energy where she's so resourceful and she is self-made, but she also surrounds herself with community and with family and with a very nurturing energy that's down to earth. She's able to really connect into her authenticity and create, and she is often in sort of this, I often see her as an energy that levels up in the material world and knows how to level up in the material world. So very resourceful, very self-reliant, and also one that engages where she thrives with others, with community, with family. And it's very healing and down to earth. And the interesting bottom of the deck is the Queen of Wands. So not only do you possess that sort of self-reliant, grounded energy, I think you also possess this sort of creative and expressive energy as well. And so I feel like you've got a handle on this situation, but you have to choose right now to move away from something that no longer serves you. And so identifying what that is and then actually moving away from it is the task at hand here. Let's see, how do other people see Virgo? How do other people see Virgo right now? How does Virgo appear externally? As the Queen of Cups. Very interesting. So the Queen of Cups, you got 3 queens that have shown up in your reading. So your character is really shining in this reading. And I think that that's the message that is needed here, is that you've got all of the characteristics and attributes that you are sort of maybe looking for externally. You possess them already. I was going to say Aries, Virgo. So the Queen of Cups is a very solid energy of love and that divine feminine energy that creates that empathy and that connection to our emotions that can be, in some ways, creates a sense of vulnerability, but in some ways it can also create this highly attuned emotional intelligence. That sensitivity can make us feel very vulnerable, but it can also attune us to that emotional intelligence of love, compassion, empathy, forgiveness, and healing and strength. I don't think a lot of people attribute strength when they see the Queen of Cups, but very strong energy here. That intuitive heart of the Queen of Cups is openly expressing love and compassion. And there is that sort of, how do I put this? That being in touch or out of touch with your emotions is sort of a game changer. Whether or not you're in touch with your emotions or you're out of touch with your emotions, you're going to notice a lot of different reactions and responses. And seeing another 10 for you, this is your third 10. The 10 of Cups is now on the bottom of the deck. So it makes me feel like emotional fulfillment is important right now for you to focus on. And sort of tapping into that emotional intelligence is just as important as tapping into your inner resilience, because both make you strong, Virgo. Really interesting. Let's see here. What are your hopes and fears around this situation? Yeah, I was going to say, if I had to guess, it would be the fear of making a new start somewhere unfamiliar. And that's exactly what we're seeing. We're seeing the Fool and the Moon in reverse. So you're sort of being guided to take a leap of faith into something that is completely unknown to you. And you can't see the whole road. All you see is maybe the pathway that leads to the road, but you can't see where it leads. You can't see where it's going to take you. You're going to get, like we said in the beginning of this reading, you're being guided to get into that chariot and go on a new direction, trusting that you'll know where to go, even if when you start the journey, you have no idea where you're off to. All you know is that it's time to get into the canoe or the chariot and pursue a new direction towards a new destination. And the journey is really the important part, to be willing to go on this journey that we see here. I think it's going to be very transformative for you. Now, let's see what the potential outcome here is for Virgo. What's the potential outcome for Virgo? The Knight of Pentacles kind of coming out in reverse. So that's interesting. I'm just going to take one card with that. Thank you. The King of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, so the Knight of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles are your outcome, but both in reverse. So that's to me sort of signals a bit of some guidance here for you to say, don't be overly focused on the finances or the resources as you go on this journey, because that might stop you in your tracks. Try to rather balance the material with the spiritual. Try to balance the material with the spiritual. Focus on the endless possibilities without getting too focused on the material, right? And sort of focus on the personal growth rather than the destination. Try not to get too worried about the destination and just focus on the personal growth that you're going to experience by being willing to sort of step into a new timeline, one that serves your authenticity and makes you feel like you're doing something that serves you, as opposed to staying in a pattern just out of fear, right? And frustration, and this idea of not knowing the outcome of something and letting that prevent you from taking the journey in the first place. The Knight of Pentacles showing up here with the King in reverse tells me that, again, you could be overly focused on work. You could be overly focused on money. You might be feeling stagnated and stuck and sort of almost like you have to be conventional in order to succeed. That might be a limited belief that you're needing to let go of, that unless I do something that's conventional and traditional, I won't be able to succeed in the material world. So again, the guidance here for you seems to be, put your focus on something and be diligent and give it your effort, but don't be so focused on the outcome that you lose the connection with the present moment. Like sometimes when we get so focused on how is this going to end up, we lose the connection to the present moment, and we get ourselves in a place where we could start worrying and fearing and doubting ourselves almost, and that could lead to some procrastination. So very interesting reading for you this week. Ultimately, bottom of the deck for you is the Eight of Wands, which is a green light to go for this. You know, allow yourself to take this journey into the unknown and see where it takes you, because it feels like it's an authentic journey, that this journey is going to serve you in some way, right? Let's see, to close this reading for Virgo, what is the highest guidance? New life. Amazing. It just sort of popped out. So Virgo, the guidance for you is to take the journey towards this new life without knowing exactly what this is going to look like, but trusting that if you feel like you have to take this journey, then you probably do. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like this whole reading, you see the Fool, you see the Chariot, we see here this idea of movement, hitting rock bottom in a scenario that no longer serves you, and then needing to sort of just take a leap of faith into this new journey without focusing on the outcome or the destination, but trusting that needing to take the journey is enough, and being willing to do that will serve you. And to trust yourself that you are self-made, you are resilient, you have a high degree of emotional intelligence, and you're not afraid of doing hard work. So it's like you have all the elements here to create a new pathway for yourself. And it's almost like you just have to take the first step, even if you don't know where that step is leading to. Trust that intuitive part of yourself, that you'll be guided. And seeing the moon really makes me feel like it's time to get comfortable with being uncomfortable and not knowing, to take the journey without knowing, you know? Very interesting reading for you this week, Virgo. I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this has been helpful, and I look forward to reading for you again soon, my friends. Take care. Sending you so much love.